Today, we are continuing with the second session of our training on XERO Accounting Software, which we started last week. We had the first session last week, 14th of May, 2020, and we are continuing today. So before we go into the training for today, I would like you to please spend 3 minutes to watch this video on SCG.
Truth be told, running a small business can be extremely overwhelming. There's a tall list of things to do. Juggling many business tasks costs time and money. Here's what happens most of the time. Most don't know what to do and how to get help, so they ignore accounting. They don't know what records to keep or how to organize them. You can't have good accounting without good records. Through ignorance, they create big tax problems. For accountants, working with SME is challenging and expensive. It's unprofitable because accountants can't recover their costs. Therefore, SMEs struggle to find suitable accountants.
That's where SCG comes in. SCG delivers high-quality services by providing accounting, audit, payroll, tax, and other professional advisory services to a broad range of clients across many industries.
Our accounting service unit works with SMEs, and as a company thrives and expands, we assist with a full complement of services to help them grow their business. We help solve one of the biggest problems of the Ghanaian SME, that is, having reliable accounting they can trust and use to run their businesses. We invest in technology tools to enable us work with SMEs anywhere in Ghana. Two of such tools are XERO and Receipt Bank. The XERO Accounting Software operates on the cloud, so your financial data is stored online and accessible anywhere, anytime, and from any device with internet connection. Get real-time view of your cash flow. At any time, you can check how much money has come in, how much has gone out, and how much you have. Run your business on the go. Use the mobile app to send invoices or create bills from anywhere. You focus on your business. We worry about the accounting for your business. Strong security for all your data means your information is safe and guarded. All clients are set up on the Receipt Bank. You don't have to come to our office or send someone to bring your data to us. All you have to do is to scan and mail to Receipt Bank. Receipt Bank extracts key information from receipts and invoices, including supplier, date, and amount. We put the data into the XERO Accounting Software and process. Receipt Bank solves one of your biggest problems: how to get your data to us regularly. So you see, you can send paperwork in a way that suits you via an app or email. All images and extracted data are stored securely on the cloud. Is that easy? Then you leave the rest to us. We update your accounts on regular basis, making sure your accounts are accurate. At the end of the month, we prepare the reports and give you access. We will also send you financial analysis.
At SCG, we solve accounting problems. We have the expertise, technology, and experience.
With SCG, you have timely and reliable financial statements to run your business. SCG, you are in reliable hands.
Okay, thank you very much for watching the short video, and I welcome you once again to our webinar for today. So, as I said, if you missed out on our first webinar, you can access it on our YouTube when you visit our website, www.scg.com.gh, and you can have full access to it, and then you can update yourself. So today, so today we continue with the second session of our training, and I have with me here Ellen to take us through the training. Ellen was here last week for the first session, and she will do us the honors today as well. Ellen, you are welcome.
Thank you, Amos.
So I'll allow Ellen to introduce herself, and then we start from there.
So welcome everybody to today's session. I'm Ellen Osa-Nimako. I manage the CAS department, and I train colleagues and clients on how to use XERO. So if you missed last week's session, we have it on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it on the channel and also subscribe for more exciting comments. So for our outline for today, we'll have a brief recap of the previous session, and then we'll delve into the training on the features that we have today, and then we'll take your questions and then answer all the questions that you have for us today. Okay, so last week we learned about the development in accounting, why you must learn XERO as a business owner and as a student. We looked at some features in XERO, specifically how to access XERO, the purpose of the dashboard, the sales process, where we created quotations and then converted the quotes to invoices, the purchase process, where we created purchase orders and converted into bills. And then finally, we learned how to format the templates for bank statements and how to import bank statements. So for today, we'll learn additional features. We'll learn how to enter transactions, in this case, in terms of payment and receipts, how to perform bank reconciliations, how to create database of contacts, your customers and then your suppliers, how to access reports in XERO, how to customize the layout of a XERO report. And then if you have any questions or you encountered any issues during your practice last week, we would respond to them as well. So I will now delve into the training for today. Okay. So after you've uploaded the bank statements, the number of unprocessed transactions is shown on each bank account. So for instance, if you import a statement for the business bank account, you will see the number of unreconciled or unprocessed transactions. So for this business bank account, we have 26 transactions to be worked on or to be processed. So for each bank account, you will always see the statement balance and then the balance in XERO. So the statement balance is the balance on your bank statement, and the balance in XERO is the cash book balance. And that is what will appear on your statement of financial position or your balance sheet. So for this business bank account, we have 8315.64 on our bank statement, and then we have 1760.54 in our cash book. So each bank account has 4 tabs. We have the reconcile tab, cash coding, the bank statement, and then the account transaction tab. So depending on your user level, you will not be able to see some of the tabs, especially the cash coding tab. So the reconcile tab allows you to find and match transactions to create new transactions, to transfer to other banks, or enter issues for discussion with your accountant on any particular transaction you are not so sure of. And then we have the cash coding tab, which allows you to code or recognize transactions more quickly. So it pre-populates the information on the bank statement so that you just select few other lines that you need to enter, such as the accounts. So for example, if this first transaction is for revenue, you simply select the sales account and then select the tax rate account, and then you can save and reconcile. So what this does, it saves you time, unlike the reconciliation screen where you have to enter all the details all over. So if you have to create a transaction, you need to enter the who, the account, and then the description, and even add more details to it. So we then move to the bank statement tab. Anytime you import a bank statement, it shows under the bank statement tab. So you can either delete the entire statement line, delete the entire statement, or just statement lines if there are any errors. So if you want to delete the entire statement, you click on the drop down here, select statements, and then you can delete the statement. Or if you just want to delete some few statement lines, change it to statement lines, select the transactions that you want to delete, and then you can delete it. Okay. So finally, we'll move to the account transactions tab. So the transactions which have been recognized or processed or coded, it can be found under the account transaction tab, which is also the cash book for each bank account. So every transaction that you have entered in relation to this particular cash book, you always find all these transactions here. And whether they've been reconciled or they've not been reconciled, you see the status as well. So we are now going to look at how to enter receipts and then payments. So after you've raised your purchase orders, your quotations, invoices, or bills, if a customer pays, you have to receive payments on the invoice. So let's assume we have an invoice from a customer. We'll go to our business tab, invoices. The customer we will use to do this practice will be Ridgeway University. So for example, Ridgeway University has paid for this particular invoice. So if they've paid for this invoice, you open the invoice and then you would enter the payment on the invoice. So I will move this payment and then take you through how to enter payment on an invoice. So let me reload this page. Okay. So we've received payment from Ridgeway. If it's a full amount that you received, you enter the 6187.50. If you receive just a part of it also, you enter the amount that you received. Enter the dates. So maybe you receive the payment on the 5th of May. The account that you received it into. The bank account that you received it into. So maybe the business bank account. And then you enter any reference. So let's say the reference is INV 0025. And then you can add payments. So when you do this, the payments will appear on the reconciliation screen. You also get a pop-up here that's payments received for 6180 for Ridgeway. So when you go back to the dashboard, and then you go into the business bank account, you see the payment appearing here. And then you can then click OK to match the payments that you have received to the transaction on the bank statement. So this is if you are yet to enter or upload the bank statement, you do it this way. So this is one way of entering the payment that has been received. So let me go back. I can click OK. And then it matches to the transaction on the bank statement. So let me go back and then remove the payment again, and then teach you the other way of allocating the payment to the invoice. So I'll remove this transaction, remove and redo. So remove and redo removes any transaction that you have entered. So now I'll come back to the dashboard. Again, into my business bank account. This time around, I haven't entered the payment on the invoice, but because I've imported my bank statement, the software sometimes detects invoices which have been entered into the system. So it will then highlight it for you to match, and then you reconcile afterwards. So after I've imported my bank statement, the software has been able to detect that there's an invoice of 6187.50. So if indeed this payment is for this particular invoice, you can just click OK to match it. Okay, so this is also the other way. If the software is not able to detect it, you can simply find and then match. So again, I'll remove the transaction. I remove the transaction, the payment again from this invoice. Remove and redo. And then come back to the reconciliation screen, reload the page. Okay. So assuming the software wasn't able to detect this, you can simply click on Find and Match, and then search for the invoice. So in this case, Ridgeway University. So you check it, and then you can reconcile. So these are the two ways for receiving payments on an invoice. It's the same process also for bills. If you make payment for bills as well, you go to the business tab, bills to pay, open the bill, receive the payment on the bill if you've not yet imported the bank statement. And then if you have also, you can simply search for it and then match and then find. Okay, so how about if you didn't go through the sales process or the purchase process, or if you don't have a bill or an invoice raised in the system? So depending on the nature of the transaction, for instance, if the transaction has to do with statutories, you wouldn't raise a bill in the system. So those kind of transactions, you enter them as a spend money or a receive money. So for statutories in particular, you're going to enter it as a spend money. So if you made a payment from this business bank account, you click on the bank accounts, go to manage accounts, and then spend money. Then you can enter the details. So let's say to GRA, the dates, and then the reference. And then you can enter, maybe it's PAYE for March 2020. The quantity will be 1, and then you enter the amount. So let's say 1,000. And then you select the liability accounts. Okay, so let me use this account and change this to VAT for March. Okay. And then you can simply save and then create another transaction. So when you enter it as a spend money, when you come back to the reconciliation screen, the transaction will be appearing on the reconciliation screen, and then you can match it. That is, if you've imported your bank statement, you can match it to it. The other way around too is if you've already imported the bank statement. So for instance, if they spent amount here of 4,500, has to do with the statutories. You can simply enter the transaction here also. Rather than going to manage accounts, spend money, you can also do it this way. And then select the account, enter the description. So let's say VAT for March 2020. If you have additional details to add, you click on add details and then you can click on OK. So the transaction is entered in the cash book, and at the same time also you match it to the transaction on the bank statement. So Xero already knows that the cash book is to be debited or is to be credited. So based on the bank statement transaction. So this Ridgeway University, we have the bank was credited, the bank account was credited with 6187.5. So because the bank statement was credited, Xero already knows that the cash book has to be debited. So if you just saw the transaction I entered, I only entered the sales account. It doesn't mean that it's a single entry which is going to be entered in the system. No, the cash book is going to be credited and that account that I selected was going to be debited. So at every point in time, the double entry principle holds. So let me use this also again as an example. Ridgeway Banking Corporation, we have 15 cedis and its bank fees. The system only requires that I select bank fees account here. Bank fees. But then it doesn't mean that it's only the bank fees account which is going to be debited. No. So this cash book will be credited because the bank statement, under the bank statement, is under the spent column. So the cash book is going to be credited and then the bank fees account is going to be debited. So when you do that, you can just click OK and then you move on. Okay. So now we are going to continue with bank reconciliations. We've already started with the first process, which is matching the transaction in the cash book to the transaction on the bank statement. So as you are entering your payment and receipts, you can also be doing the first part of the bank reconciliation by doing that matching to bank statement and then with the cash book as well. So as an accountant, you must perform bank reconciliations and any other reconciliations also. The bank reconciliations are very key, and the managers or the supervisors and the business owners should always review the bank reconciliation. However, the best part is Xero's preparation of the bank reconciliation report is very easy and simple. So you have seen the first part that we have done. With the bank reconciliation report, you can simply go to manage accounts and then reconciliation report. So for that particular bank account, select the period that you want. So maybe I want a reconciliation report as at today, and then update. So the reconciliation report is prepared for you. This is the balance you have in your cash book, negative 3754.46. This is the balance that you have on the bank statement. And all the transaction causing the differences have been highlighted for you. So you can then review any of the transactions and then make the needed entries or any corrections which is necessary. So you don't have to now prepare a reconciliation report of the system. No. So that is how we enter payments and receipts. We match transactions in the cash book to the transactions on the bank statement, and then how we review our bank reconciliation reports and make the necessary corrections. On our next feature, we are going to look at the Contacts tab.
Okay, so before Ellen comes in with the Contact tab feature, let me announce that if you have any question, please put them in the Q&A box below the screen, and will be all questions will be attended to after this session. Because we've seen that people are asking questions, we would attend to all of them, but just keep them coming, and we will attend to them after she's done with her presentation. Thank you. Ellen, please continue.
Okay, thank you, Amos. So it's important to create a database of your customers and suppliers for the following reasons. So to easily select when creating recurrent quotes, purchase orders, bills or invoices to save time. And then also it provides you with data to be analyzed when you integrate any analytics software. Again, it helps you to easily find contact details such as address, email, or even the primary contacts. So these are the reasons why you must keep a database of your contacts. In this case, your customers and then your suppliers. So to add the contacts, we have the contact tab. You click on the contact tab, all contacts. You can add a contact, import a contact from any existing accounting software that you have, or export the contact details that you have in XERO for any other work that you intend doing, or send statements to your contacts. So if you want to add a contact, we click on add contact and then enter the contact information. So let's say our contact is AOC Limited. The primary person's name, let's say Amma. You can enter the contact person's email at gmail.com. Enter the number, the street address, the postal address, and then you can scroll down and enter the financial settings. So you define the sales and then the purchase settings. So for example, you can select the sales accounts, whether it's the sales settings is to be tax inclusive or tax exclusive. Select the sales account. The same thing for the purchase, whether it will be tax inclusive or tax exclusive. Select the purchase account. The TIN number, so let's say C00024567. The business registration number, any credit limits, any other details necessary. So the bills due dates, maybe this particular contact, their bills are due 15 days or the following month, or 15 days after the bill dates, after the end of the bill. So you select the appropriate details applicable. The same thing for the invoices also. And then you can review the information, ensure everything is correct, and then save. But then all these defaults can be overridden when you are entering a transaction. So although you have set a particular account on that contact, when you are creating a transaction for the contact, you can always change the default settings in the system. So that is how we create a contact in the system. If you want to edit the contact details, you come to edit, and then it will take you back to the initial screen used for creating the contact. Make the necessary changes and then save again. If you want to merge two contacts, so probably you mistakenly created one contact twice, you can merge those contacts. Or if you no longer deal with a particular supplier or customer, you can archive that particular contact or add it to a group if needed. Okay, so on our fourth feature today, we are going to look at reports. So for reports, we will go to the accounting tab and then reports. So in an accounting information system like XERO, the reports are simply the outputs of the transactions that you have entered. So if you enter the transactions inaccurately, or you don't know how to use the system, it means that you are going to get inaccurate reports. and that obviously is going to affect any decision that has to be made about the business. So make sure you enter the transactions accurately, and you also know how to use the system to enter transactions or to perform accounting functions. So in XERO, the reports are grouped under sales, financial, tax, purchases, inventory, accounting, fixed assets, and then pay run. So depending on the type of reports that you want, they are grouped accordingly. And then you can extract the reports that you need. So we'll look at the financial reports, a couple of them. We are going to look at the profit and loss. So what a profit and loss does is that it gives your financial performance. So you can click on the profit and loss if you want to view your financial performance for a particular period or for the year. Determine the range, either last financial year, this financial year, last month, last quarter. So you select the appropriate period and then you update so that the information can be picked up for you. So when you update it with this our demo company, we have sales of 11,070. We have cost of sales of this. So we have a gross profit of 10,294 and then a net profit of net loss, of 2,926. Because our expenses, our total operating expenses is more than our gross profits. Again, going back to the reports, you can view your financial position with the balance sheet. So select the balance sheet again, select the period, and then update. Okay. If you want to view your bank reconciliation reports, you either view it from the dashboard by clicking into each of the individual bank accounts, or you come to reports and then under reports, accounting, and then bank reconciliation summary. So you have the option to view all the bank reconciliation reports for each of the banks here also. So you select the bank, the period that you want to view the reconciliation for, and then update. And then the bank reconciliation can be pulled up for you. So you can export this into PDF, into Excel, or into Google Sheets. Or if you want to publish it in the system for your manager or supervisor to review it, you can also do that. Again, under the accounting tab as well, that is where you assess your trial balance, the general ledger, and any other additional reports, account transactions, and any other additional reports that you want to assess. If you want to assess the overdue invoices and payables, you go to the sales and the purchase section. So your age payable details, or the age receivable detail or age receivables gives you details of the outstanding receivables. So you select the period again, click to show invoices, and then you update. If you want to view for payables as well, go to purchases, age payables, select the period again, and then update. So you will see all your overdue bills, and then you make sure you pay your suppliers to maintain the service that they are rendering for you. So with this our demo company, we can see that we owe Smart Agency, we owe Swanston Security, we owe Central Copiers, and it also states the period for which this invoice has been outstanding, whether it's less than a month, less than 2 months, or it's within the current period. Okay, so on our final feature for today, we are going to look at how to customize reports. So any of these reports that you just opened, we are going to look at how to customize that. So let's open our bank statement. So you want to view, let's say, bank statement for last month update. Scroll down and then click on Edit Layout. So within this layout screen, you can add text. So assuming you want to add some narratives or comments, so you can say financial performance, and then add your comments. So the performance for the period. Okay. Again, you can add schedule. So if you want to add a schedule of accounts, you can do that by clicking on the schedule button here and then add the accounts. So add the accounts, assuming you've created a group of accounts. You want to add a schedule for the details of those accounts. You can just simply select the account update and they would appear here. We go to the footer. So if you want to add the footer, so let's say probably for discussions only. You can do that and you can format it, whether you want to italize it or bold or underline or even highlight it, depending on what you want to do. So customizing of reports is based on your preference and also that of the audience as well. You should know what the audience expects. You can move these schedules or these text that you have entered either up or down with these arrows. So you either move them up or you move them down, or you can even delete it all together if you don't need it. So click on the delete button to delete it. Again, if you want to insert a row, you can insert a row for a formula or insert a row for a group. So let's say you want to insert a row for a group. You can click on a group, drag it to the appropriate place that you want, and then group the accounts. So probably you want accounts receivable and all these to be under one particular group. You can do that and then change the heading here to, let's say, accounts current assets. Sorry. So this is how you create the group. You can close it or open it up. When you open it up, it means that when you are done, the individual transactions will be showing. If you close it up to, you see only one line item for current assets. If you want to also create a row of formula, so you can also click on row again, but this time one formula. And then you have to insert the formula. Maybe you want to calculate current ratio, so current assets divided by current liabilities. Then you can rename this as current ratio. So these things that you did at the row side, you can also do same at the column side. So maybe you want to insert a column for an additional date to probably compare. You want to do a comparative. So you want to insert additional date and compare April to March. So you can select, click on column date and then select the appropriate month. Again, if you want to create a column for a formula, just as we did for the row, you can do that. If you want to create, insert notes, you click on notes. And then for each of them, you link it to a particular note that you have down there. So let's say I want to link this first one to the financial performance. So you click on notes and then you select the link target. When you are done, you can click on Done, and then you will see the output of what you have customized. If you don't like it, you can simply click on Edit Layout again, and then make the necessary changes that you want. So this is the output of what we just customized. If you want to export it, you export it as PDF, export it as Excel or Google Sheets, or you can save it as drafts and save it as a customized template to use it. So you can make this a default template such that you don't always have to recreate the template that you have designed, because you spend quite some time to customize or to format a template. So you make it custom reports, and then you can save it. So all the time, this becomes the template that you can use and then make the necessary changes. Or you can save it as published. So instead of extracting the report and sending via email, you can simply save it as published. Check to include the cover page or the contents page, and then you can save. So all reports that are published can be found under the Publish tab in the report section. So in the report section, you can find it under the Published tab. And then if your manager or supervisor has access, or the business owner has access, they will log in, go to Accounting, Reports, and then Published. You can always archive the reports that you have published or delete the reports that you have published. Again, you can also export it to PDF, Excel, or Google Sheets under this section as well. So in summary, this is what we've learned today: how to enter payments and receipts, perform bank reconciliations, how to access reports, and then finally, how to customize reports. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ellen, for the presentation. I think this is very interesting, and then features are quite easy to use, and they use simple language as well. So before I go on to take on questions, let me also remind our participants that the first part of this training, which happened on the 14th last week of May, has been, posted on our website. So you can visit our website to catch up with us, so that you can relate it to the second session. And also, last week, I think there was an interesting point that Ellen made in her presentation, why it's important for business owners to understand and know about XERO and how it helps streamline their accounting activities, as well as from a graduate perspective, how it also helps you to understand and equip yourself with some skill for the job market. So in all, I think it's been a good session last week. So Ellen, thank you very much. Now we would go to our Q&A to see there are a few questions. I believe Ellen is ready to take them.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Somebody, okay, no name. Somebody wants to know, why must we make payment on invoices and bills?
Okay, so you have the invoice or the bills in the system. If you don't make the payments on them, and then you enter the transaction directly into the revenue or the expense account, it means that you've duplicated the transaction. So remember, when you created the invoice, or when you copied it from the quotation, you selected a sales account. So when last week we learned about creating quotations, and then we selected a sales account. So when we copied the details from the quotation to the invoice and then created an invoice, and the invoice was approved, the sales account was credited, and then the account receivables was debited. So if you don't enter the receive the payment on the invoice, or if the software populates it for you also and you don't match it, or you don't find and then match it, and you enter it directly again as another transaction, it means that the sales account has been credited twice.
Okay.
Yes, so these are some of the duplicates that you can cause if you do some of these mistakes.
Okay.
So you either enter it on the invoice, or you find and match to that particular invoice, or if the system detects it for you also, you match it to it.
Okay. Inusa Gariba once they said, please, are we going to be given access to the recorded video to practice on our own? Yes, Inusa, let me answer that one. Inusa, we are going to make this recording available on our website and on our YouTube as well. So you can access it and then, have some training on it, or further training on it as well. Yeah. Joseph Eshon. Okay, Joseph Eshon is also asking the same question. He said, will the recorded presentation be sent to us? Yes, Joseph, it will be sent. It will be shared on our website, and you can have access to it. Francis Kofi, he wants to know, please, how do you correct already received payments?
Okay, so Francis, you remove and then redo. So I think I demonstrated one. Let me just go back again on that. Okay, so I will use a payment here to show you. Let me open this. So we receive payments on this Rageway invoice. So you click, open the invoice, scroll down to payments. If you can see on my screen, the payment here is highlighted in blue. Click on the payments and then click on the options at the far right hand, and then click on remove and redo. If you've already reconciled it and maybe you simply want to unreconcile, it's possible that you have matched it to a wrong transaction on the bank statement. So for that one, you will unreconcile. So you can click on unreconcile. But if you've entered it wrongly, simply remove and then redo it, re-enter the payment. So you scroll down, enter the date, select the bank account the payment was made into, and then enter the reference, and then you redo it.
Okay. So Benedict Ajay Boating, she said, please, I want to know where I can get the software for practice. Okay,
so Benedict, I think we covered this last week. I think you probably missed it, but then you go to, you log on to www.xero.com, and then you can sign up for free for 30 days. And then after 30 days, you would have to subscribe to one of the plans that XERO has. So that is how to access the software.
Okay. So Alice Amenia she said, please kindly make available the website link for us to access the videos. Okay, Alice, our website is www.scg.com.gh. So when you visit our website, you will get to see the link and then also access it. But we'll share the link with all participants as well after the session. Mohammed Rafiq, is there a version of XERO that can be used offline? Some business owners will be concerned about availability of internet.
XERO cannot be used offline, so you need internet to be able to use that.
Okay. All right. So do we have some more questions coming? Okay. So does XERO integrate with other softwares? Somebody wants to know, does XERO integrate with other softwares?
Yes, XERO has an integration with quite a number of softwares as well. We have softwares for inventory, softwares for extraction, So for instance, we have Receipt Bank, which is an extraction software which integrates with XERO. So that is one of the softwares that XERO integrates with. And we also have some inventory softwares like Unleash, Dear, etc. So there are quite a number of softwares that XERO integrates with, and it's on XERO's marketplace. It's referred to as the app marketplace. So all the softwares that are available can be found.
Okay. So even yeah, and you can even sign on for a month free trial to also practice, right?
Yes, for the software, depending on the software provider.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So any more questions? Okay. Emmanuel Edu said, great session. Any manual for XERO? I said, great session. Any manual for XERO? Okay, Emmanuel, thank you for the commendation. I think when you visit XERO's website, you can, yeah, you can see that.
Emmanuel, if you also want more training on XERO as well, we do organize XERO training service, XERO training here for people. So if you want more training on XERO, you can sign on to that, and we make our manuals available as well.
Okay, so we have about 3 minutes to wrap up. Wow, questions are. Okay, so please, Benedict Boating said, please, I'm in education sector account. To be specific, I want to know how to use XERO there. So she's into education. Mm-hmm. So she wants to know how to use XERO there.
She wants to use, is the business, is it her own business that she wants to use XERO, or she wants to learn how to use XERO for herself?
Okay, so Benedict, I think you have to be specific with on that one, so that we know how to address your question. Okay. Wow, the questions are. Okay. Says Benedict says it's a public school, so she's, I suppose she's a proprietress, and then she wants to know how to use, if she can use XERO for her school.
Okay, so Benedict, we would have to get more details into that for you, if XERO, because we need to know how your school is, the kind of activities you are involved in, and then whether XERO will be the best software for you.
Okay, so somebody wants to know, how safe is XERO? Is business privacy assured?
Yes, business privacy is assured. So in terms of logging into XERO, it has two-step authentication. So aside logging in with your password and then your email, you are also required to enter your Google codes as well. And then obviously XERO has what we call the assurance dashboard. It also has an audit role. So there are inbuilt securities in XERO. We'll look at those into details in our subsequent webinars.
Okay, so I think we have quite a few questions coming in, but unfortunately our time is up, and then we cannot take any more questions. But the rest assured, we would go through your questions and then address them, send you email in response, or address your concerns in our subsequent webinars. So thank you very much, Ellen, for the presentation. And for you who participated today, we are grateful for your time, and we believe that you have learned a lot today, and as well as from last week. So if you are interested in using XERO, as Ellen indicated earlier on, you can send us an email or contact us at info@scg.com.gh. or visit our website, www.scg.com.gh, and then you will see, you will get to know what we do at SCG and how we can help improve your business processes as well. So keep following us, and we will be sharing with you more details or training as we go along, and on essential features of XERO, as well as other interesting topics. So that may cut across tax, audit, and other interesting areas that affect business. So we encourage you to keep signing on so that we can have a good session. Thank you very much for joining us today, and hope to see you in our next webinar. Have a good day.